What is up, Algebra 1? This is lesson 2.6 and 2.7 together. Our objective is to understand how to write and solve proportions. Before we get to proportions, we first need to know what a ratio is. And a ratio uses division to compare two quantities. You can write a ratio in three different ways with two numbers, a and b. You can say a to b, a semicolon b, or a divided by b. All of them you say the ratio of a to b. Those are all similar. There's just different ways of writing it. So it says Derek and his brother decided to combine their CD collection. Derek has 44 CDs and his brother has 52 CDs. Find the specified ratio. So number one says number of Derek's CDs to his brother's CDs. So in order to do that, we're going to say how many Derek has, which is 44, to how many his brother have, which is 52. Now something that should be mentioned here is that ratio should be written in simplest form. So we don't want to just leave it like that. We want to reduce it down or find numbers that go into both of them. So I know 2 goes into both of them. That would be 22 over 25, 26. So I can put 2 in there again. That would be 11 over 13. And then number 2 says the number of Derek's CDs, which we already found to be 44, to the number of CDs in the entire collection. So that means on the denominator it's going to be 44 plus 52. It's going to be 44 over 696. So again, I can take 2 out, 22 over 48, 11 over 24. Alright, so a proportion now is an equation that states that two ratios are equivalent. The general form of a proportion is given a over b is equal to c over d, and those denominators can't be 0 because we're not allowed to divide by 0. So what we want to do for like this one here, we need to think about, since these ratios are equivalent, I need to think 7 times what gives me 35. Well, I know if I multiply by 5, it'd give me that, which means if I multiply this top one by 5, it should give me what that one is. So that means W is equal to 20. Something similar here. 2 times 6 gives me 12, so that means I'm going to say 9 times 6 will give me what M is. So M is equal to 54. And then likewise, 9 times what gives me 54? Well, 9 times 6. So that means I need to do the same thing at the top here. 5 times 6. So that means Z is going to equal to 30. Astronomy. When 2 full moons appear in the same month, the second full moon is called a blue moon. I don't know if you've ever heard that saying. Once in a blue moon. On average, 2 blue moons occur every 5 years. Find the number of blue moons that are likely to occur in the next 25 years. So what we need to do here is we need to set up a proportion. I know that normally there's going to be 2 blue moons that happen every 5 years. So what I want to know is how many blue moons will there be in the next 25 years. So notice if I multiply by 5 here, it gets me that one. So I'm going to multiply by 5 up here, should give me that one. So 2 times 5 is 10 blue moons. Now in some cases like this, it's fairly easy to solve because it's just 5 times something gives you 25. But sometimes, and this is where we're moving into 2.7, we need a different tool because we can't necessarily think of the number that I need to multiply by because it's not an exact number, it's a decimal, a fraction. So that's whenever we use the cross product property. So in words, it says the cross product of proportions are equal. So here's an example: 3 over 4 is equal to 6 over 8. So I can say 4 times 6 is going to be the same thing as 3 times 8. Notice those both give me 24. So here's the generic form: A over B is equal to C over D. Then that is A times D is equal to B times C. Sometimes this is called the butterfly method, because you can circle it like this. This one is equal to the product of that one, and it looks kind of like a butterfly. So let's use that. Here's a few here. So I'm going to multiply 4 times 30. It's going to equal to A times 24. So that's going to be 120 is equal to 24A. Dividing by 24 gives you that A is equal to 5. Same idea here. I'm going to say this one times this one. It's going to be this one times this one. So 2 times x, or x times 2, is going to equal to 3 times x minus 6. Notice I added parentheses around that denominator because it's saying all of this times that. So now we can go about this as 2x is equal to 3x minus 18. So I'm going to subtract 2x and add 18. And I get x is equal to 18. One more here. This times this times this. So m times 4 is going to equal to 5 times the quantity of m minus 6. Again, it's 5 times all of that numerator. That's why we did the parentheses there. This is going to be 4m. It's going to equal to 5m minus 30. So I'm going to add 30 to both sides. Subtract 4m. So I end up with 30 is equal to m, or m is equal to 30. Alright, just one more before you get started on your homework here. It says the ship model kit sold at a hobby store have a scale of 1 foot to 600 feet. A completed model of the Queen Elizabeth II is 1.6 feet long. Estimate the actual length of the Queen Elizabeth II. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this proportion that I have here, 1 over 600, 1 foot over 600, and then this is the length of the model, so that's the part up here. So I'm saying that's equal to 1.6 over, I'll call that x, the length of the actual ship. So I'm going to multiply this times this. It's going to be 1 times x. It's going to equal to 1.6 times 600. So this is going to tell me just x is going to equal to, and I plug in my calculator, 960 feet long. Your homework, if you haven't noticed, is on page 117. You can do 4 through 40 evens, and then one more problem solving of your choice.